great to have you with me, Phil Cleary, podcaster, writer, long-time campaigner to end men's violence against women, one-time independent member of the Australian Parliament, and former Australian rules footballer and coach. In this memorable People and Places video series, a bookend to my Cleary Independent podcasts, we'll travel the world unearthing people and places with a story to tell. In episode 2 of my memorable People and Places series, we travel to the west coast of Ireland. I first photographed the cliffs of Moher in Ireland's County Clare in the 1970s on black and white film with my trusty Canon camera. And I was there again in 2017 with my Canon, shooting of course on digital film. I was in the town of Doolin while Richmond was surging to the AFL Premiership at Melbourne's MCG. One of the boys I coached at West Coburg in the 2009 EDFL Under-16 Grand Final, Brandon Ellis, was a member of Richmond's Premiership team in 2017. A number of his West Coburg teammates are playing in West's senior team and hoping to reach another grand final in 2024. When I travel to Ireland, I rarely miss the opportunity to wander through an old cemetery here and there. So of course, I had to visit Doolin's oldest cemetery. This is the Killala Cemetery. In this cemetery I came across the grave of John Joseph Salmon, who fought in the Great War with the American infantry, but was buried here in Killala in 1956. Presumably, he emigrated to America, fought in the Great War, and then came back to Killala, where he is buried. What is fascinating about Salmon's story, however, is that while John Salmon was fighting for the British Empire, his former friends were preparing to go to war against the British invader in Ireland. At nearby Reneen, on the 22nd of September 1920, the Mid-Clare Brigade of the IRA ambushed a police and military patrol, killing 6 officers. In reprisal, the Royal Irish Constabulary and British forces killed 5 civilians and burnt 16 nearby houses. The reprisals were condemned in the House of Commons in London by the British Labour Party, but defended by Tory politicians. Maybe one day we'll discover whether, when John Joseph Salmon returned home, he ever told former members of the Mid-Clare Brigade that he'd rather have been fighting for Ireland than with the British Empire. As irony would have it, the man who led the IRA attack at Reneen, Ignatius O'Neill, had also fought in the Great War after emigrating to America and enlisting in Canada. When he returned home to Ireland, he joined the IRA. Just one more chapter in that great War of Independence. In 1996, 21 years before I visited the Killala Cemetery, I was on the road from Doolin to Galway when I came across a number of men working on a stone fence. By coincidence, one of those men happened to be the legendary Irish step dancer and singer Gussie MacMahon. His version of the rescue of Sean Hogan at the Knocklong station was priceless. You know about the Knocklong station rescue?
That's right. We have often heard our fathers tell how in the feudal times the noblest of our Irishmen in prison spent their lives. These tales we hear daily, the fight it still goes on. like the rescue of Sean Hogan at the station of Knocklong. The shades of night were falling fast when it was guarded for an hour or so by few brave Irishmen. They sprang into the carriage, it did not take them long. Hands up now or die was the rebel cry at the station of Knocklong. Up the banner! Come on, good. How, sir?
Gussie passed away in 2020, but thankfully his memory lives on. God bless you, Gussie. A little while after that fortuitous meeting with Gussie MacMahon, I passed the bridge in Galway, made famous by the Hollywood film The Quiet Man. That done, I drove to the famous Kylemore Abbey. My destination was Castlebar, where the great Christy was performing. Before the concert, I recorded a short interview with Christy in which he treated me to a personal rendition of his song, North and South of the River.
I mean, it really came to me in the 70s, in the mid-70s, when the blanket protest was on and the whole nuclear issue was on here in Ireland, and the situation in the H-blocks was getting worse. How can I go on stage every night and not sing about what everybody's talking about? My mother was a great influence on me, both as a mother and as a singer and as a lover of songs. I wanna reach out over the loch and feel your hand across the water. Walk with you along the not looking over my shoulder. I wanna say, I wanna hear, to understand your fear, but we're north and south of the river, north and south of the river.
I first came to Ireland more than 40 years ago, but I've never been to the Aran Islands, but I have now. And it's beautiful. With a bit of luck, I'll be back in Ireland very soon.